Welcome to the F-Bound Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Schroeder, Executive Function Coach. I help neurodivergent women learn tips and strategies to improve the life skills that will help them be successful. How positive triggers can boost self-motivation for neurodivergent people. Have you ever noticed how small things can completely change your mood and motivation? For neurodivergent people, staying motivated can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. That's where positive triggers come in. These are intentional cues, songs, objects, routines that spark energy, focus, or calm when you need it most. By aligning these triggers with your personal needs, you can create a support system that works for you, not against you. It's not about forcing motivation. It's about setting the right conditions to let it grow naturally. What are positive triggers? Positive triggers are like tiny intentional sparks that can ignite energy, calm, or focus just when you need it most. Think of them as tools in your personal self-motivation toolbox, things, sounds, smells, or routines that bring a sense of balance and purpose to your day. For neurodivergent people, these triggers go beyond typical feel-good moments because they're designed to align with your unique needs and rhythm. But what exactly makes a trigger positive, and how do they differ from their negative counterparts? Negative triggers often take us by surprise and lead to unwanted emotions or reactions. A crowded environment might raise anxiety, or a sudden loud noise could throw off focus. Positive triggers, on the other hand, are intentionally chosen. They work proactively, helping you manage your mindset and behavior so the day feels just a little easier to navigate. The psychology behind positive triggers. At the heart of positive triggers lies an interesting neurological process. When your brain encounters certain cues, like a favorite song or the smell of lavender, it releases feel-good chemicals such as dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin. These neurotransmitters create a ripple effect that can improve mood, boost focus, and even reduce stress. It's like giving your brain a little pep talk telling it, "You've got this." One principle that explains this is classical conditioning. Remember Pavlov's experiments with dogs? He trained them to associate the sound of a bell with food, eventually eliciting drooling with just the bell. Similarly, when you repeatedly link a specific cue with positive outcomes, like calm or motivation, your brain starts to associate the two. Now, seeing that cue again sparks the same positive reaction. Positive triggers also align with neuroplasticity, which is your brain's ability to adapt and rewire itself based on experiences. Repeatedly activating these triggers strengthens neural pathways, making it easier to slip into that desired state of focus or calm over time. This is particularly useful for neurodivergent people who may face heightened sensory overload or difficulty in regulating emotions. Imagine you're setting up a playlist of songs that energize you before work. The more you use that playlist as a cue to get into motivated work mode, the stronger the association becomes. Over time, simply hearing the first few notes of a song might be enough to shift your mindset completely. Why does this matter? Because recognizing and using positive triggers is about working with your brain. Instead of thinking, why can't I just focus like everyone else, you're asking, what can I add to my day to bring a little positivity or clarity when I need it most? Building these intentional habits is a way of putting self-motivation on autopilot, which can be a game changer for anyone, but especially for those of us navigating neurodivergence. Types of positive triggers. Positive triggers come in many shapes or forms, each aiming to increase your self-motivation by aligning with your personal experiences and preferences. Understanding these types can help you build a powerful toolkit to tackle everyday challenges. Number 1, environmental triggers. Your environment can either boost your self-motivation or completely drain it. Ever notice how stepping into a clean, quiet room feels different than entering a cluttered, noisy space? That's your environment influencing your mental state. Creating a positive environment is all about intentionality. For instance, setting up your workspace with soft lighting, a cozy chair, or even a plant can make it more inviting. A study shared by James Clear explains how your surrounding environment often shapes your habits and productivity more than your willpower. Small changes like limiting distractions or adding inspirational quotes can have a huge impact. Ask yourself, is my environment helping me or hindering me? If it's the latter, you can tweak small things, lighting, layout, or even adding a personal touch like photos to create a space that encourages positivity and focus. 2, emotional triggers. Emotions run deep, and if tapped into the right way, they can fuel your motivation like nothing else. A good emotional trigger might be recalling a past success to remind you what you're capable of, or playing a song that lifts your mood when you're feeling low. The trick with emotional triggers is consistency. Repeatedly associating certain feelings with specific actions can help you create emotional cues for self-motivation. For example, if a particular morning routine consistently makes you feel accomplished, like making your bed or starting your day with a glass of water, it may serve as a cue to tackle the rest of your day with confidence. You can even turn negative emotions into positive triggers. Reframing setbacks or failures as learning moments can shift your mindset. It's not about ignoring how you feel, but using it constructively. 3. Social triggers. Humans are social creatures, and the people around us often influence our motivation levels. Positive social triggers might include encouraging words from a friend, compliments from a coworker, or even accountability partners who keep you on track. Have you noticed how just talking to someone who gets you can reignite your motivation? That's the magic of social triggers. Whether it's your family, friends, or online communities, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you can inspire you to push forward. So if you're stuck, lean on your circle of support. Sometimes all it takes is a small nudge from someone who believes in you to reignite your inner drive. Number 4, sensory triggers. Sensory triggers are particularly powerful because they go straight to the heart of how you experience the world. For neurodivergent people, certain sounds, smells, or textures can be grounding and even energizing. Imagine lighting a scented candle that reminds you of calm summer evenings or wearing a sweater that feels like a hug. These sensory experiences can instantly shift your mood and set the stage for self-motivation. Neurodivergent people often have heightened sensory awareness, making it even more crucial to curate positive sensory experiences. By identifying sensory triggers that work for you, whether it's a favorite texture, a soothing playlist, or even a meal with specific flavors, you can give yourself an immediate boost whenever it's needed. Implementing positive triggers in daily life. Building self-motivation involves more than just a one-time effort. It requires a system. Positive triggers, when embedded into your daily routine, can act as effortless reminders to stay on track. They're like autopilot switches, helping you maintain focus, calm, or energy with minimal conscious thought. Identifying your own triggers. The journey starts with self-awareness. Everyone's positive triggers are unique, shaped by personal experiences and preferences. Your triggers could range from listening to a specific playlist to sipping your favorite morning tea. But how do you pinpoint these triggers? Track your responses. Start by paying attention to what energizes or calms you during the day. Did a particular scent instantly relax you? Did a motivational quote give you the nudge you needed? Write these moments down to look for patterns. Experiment with cues. Try different cues to see what sparks joy or focus. Maybe it's visual, like seeing a vision board, or sensory, like rubbing a soft fabric when stressed. Refine over time. Some triggers might lose their effect while others gain potency. Regularly reassess and update your list to keep things fresh. Creating a trigger-friendly environment. Your surroundings can make or break your effort to harness positive triggers. Designing space that subtly nudges you toward motivation can be a game changer. Think of your environment as the backdrop for your self-motivation. Tidy up without overwhelming. A clean space doesn't mean perfection. Start by decluttering one section of a room that you use often, like your desk or bedside table. Add motivation cues. Incorporate items that trigger positive emotions. A soft throw blanket can make reading more enjoyable. A framed quote might give you the inspiration to start your workday. Use scent and sound intentionally. Add calming scents like lavender through candles or diffusers. Use noise-canceling headphones or ambient sound apps if noise disrupts your focus. Building a supportive network. Your relationships are part of your self-motivation ecosystem. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and encourage you creates a ripple effect in your mindset. Engage with like-minded people. Join communities where people share similar goals or interests. Find online groups, like my Facebook group for women, forums, or even local clubs that align with your passions. Find accountability partners. Having someone to check in with can keep you consistent. Whether it's a weekly call with a friend or a quick text, accountability builds momentum. Practice reciprocity. Motivation isn't a one-way street. Be the kind of support you want to receive by celebrating others' wins and offering help when needed. A supportive network can amplify your positive triggers and reinforce your self-motivation. Overcoming challenges with positive triggers. Using positive triggers to tackle life's challenges is about finding simple, actionable ways to improve your day-to-day experiences. Whether you're setting the tone for a productive workday or calming racing thoughts, these triggers aim to replace negative reactions with supportive cues. Recognizing negative patterns. Negative triggers often creep in unnoticed, holding you back without you realizing it. Maybe it's a chaotic workspace that overwhelms your senses or a particular sound that spikes your anxiety. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward transforming your mindset. Here are some ways to identify negative triggers. Pay attention to your mood shifts. Does a specific scenario or interaction make you feel irritable or drained? Write it down. Notice recurring emotions. Are you overwhelmed in crowded spaces or agitated by certain smells or sounds? Ask for feedback. Sometimes others can spot our stressors better than we can. Ask trusted friends if they notice what pulls your mood down. By mapping out these negative triggers, you can actively avoid them or counter them with new positive cues. For example, if loud settings affect your focus, try using noise-canceling headphones paired with calming music. Adapting triggers for neurodivergent needs. Neurodivergent people process the world differently, so a one-size-fits-all solution rarely works. Instead, tailor your positive triggers to fit your sensory and emotional preferences. Here's how to adapt triggers effectively. Prioritize sensory needs. Certain textures, colors, or sounds might be comforting or overstimulating. If scents calm you, consider lavender candles or essential oils. On the other hand, if movement helps, incorporate fidget tools or weighted blankets into your day. Create flexible systems. Routines can ground you, but make them adaptable. For example, instead of a rigid morning schedule, build routines that allow for adjustments. Neurodivergent-friendly cues like timers or calming tones or visual task boards can help you ease into tasks your own way. Account for overstimulation. Too much of a positive trigger can flip into a negative one. If a sensory tool becomes distracting, scale back or rotate to different triggers to keep things balanced. Seek support in customization. Sometimes you'll need help figuring out what works best. Professionals like occupational therapists often help neurodivergent people adapt their environments. By understanding your unique needs and tweaking triggers to suit them, you're building a personalized foundation for consistent motivation. Small adjustments can make a big difference in navigating daily challenges, putting you back in control. Positive triggers are powerful tools for boosting your self-motivation, especially when tailored to your unique needs. They aren't quick fixes, but small, intentional choices that make a big difference over time. Start experimenting with cues that energize or calm you and pay close attention to how these triggers shift your mindset. Refine them as you go. What's one small trigger you'll try today? I hope you enjoyed this episode of the F-Bomb Podcast. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe below and check out my show notes to learn more about my Facebook group, courses, and membership.